Meow meow from the other side. Meow 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 meow. Alright, I'll see you in a little bit, dude. I'll see you in a little bit, baby girl. Hello. How are you? It's the rapey day. It is the rapey day. So I am killing time doing my usual vloggy vlog. And we are going to go and do some therapy thing. Hey, buddy. No, sorry. I'm talking to the cats. It's either Bert or Squeaks. I can't tell which one. Probably Squeaks. Um, Bert ain't been coming out a whole lot here lately. Uh, I think he is done and tired of the other cat's shit. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I am mostly done with people's shit, I got something for somebody named Samantha LaFlame. Time sensitive, important information. Probably either a bill or an advert. And not me. Either way. And so let me set the camera on a thing. And I will talk to you guys like I'm not a crazy person out here talking to myself. And I think that works. Let's see about that. Are we active tracked? We are bugging active tracked. How do you do? Yeah, there we go. Not very well. It is not active tracked very well. So we got, let's see. Yeah, we got a few. We definitely got a few. Anyway, so I got, what's going on? I got a 2 days left till I give Comcast the big middle finger and tell them to go fuck themselves, basically, because in 2 days I am having Glow Fiber installed, and I am going to tell Comcast to go fuck themselves, and they can take that almost double price increase on my internet and go fuck themselves. They could shove it straight up their asses with no Vaseline, as the great poet Cube once said. No Vaseline. And I'm actually looking forward to that, even if Comcast hadn't been fucking me lately. I think I mentioned on the previous vlog, that they've been trying to charge me 2 months service after I canceled my phone service with them. We're so fucking done with Comcast. I've been with them for like over 40 years, and I'm done. I'm done. They think that because they think they are complacent because they used to have a monopoly over this general area, at least with the internet, or cable internet anyway, anything fast. Now we've got other fast options like Glow Fiber, which is actually faster than Comcast. And I've been checking around, both around here and in my hometown of Stanton. And everybody seems to be pretty happy with Glow Fiber. So, plus there's no contracts. And, my internet's going to be like just under $100 a month for almost 1.5 gigabits per second. And that's going to be both down and up, because if you're not like familiar with some of the like limitations of copper internet, which is like cable internet, you can get up to around about a gigabit of speed on copper cable, but upload speeds, like you're going to max out at around 40 megabits per second, which is not very fast at all. And, they're not really back to dial-up speeds, but, it's getting there. It is getting there. As soon as you start talking about megabits per second, you're in fucking trouble. And as a content creator, obviously, that's no good, We don't want to go back to doing megabits. We want to go back, we want to do gigabits. I'd be really happy if we could do terabits. or just a nice pair of tits, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Uh, you know, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to giving Comcast the boot. Um, we'll see what that's about. And I am also canceling my debit card and getting a new one so that they can't just charge me. They say they're not going to charge me another $90 or whatever, but I don't trust them not to. So, I'm just canceling the debit card so they can't charge me. So they don't have anything to fucking charge, and moving on. And they can take the money that I owe them for the internet and just go fuck themselves. We'll call that even for the extra months that they charged me on my phone that I didn't have their fucking phone service for. They could take that 160 whatever dollars, and again, no Vaseline, no Vaseline. Um, you know, Little guy's got to get a win somewhere. Not that I'm a little guy, but I'm saying symbolically little guy. I'm not physically the little guy, but you know what I'm spraying. Anyway, what else we got going on? It seems like there is more stuff going on. I guess I should talk about content a little bit. Not that I really have much of anything planned out, but I plan on doing something, whatever that ends up being, here when we get I keep calling it Fiber Glow. It's Glow Fiber. Just to test that upload speed, because I want to see how fast it really be. I'm pretty confident in it, but whatever. Um, I'm planning on doing some more ride-alongs, of course, still. I'm going to do one. I don't know if we're going to actually go back. Excuse me. We're going to drive to Massanutten again, except on the alternative route. But it's sort of the same route, but we're going to take a different turn once we get across 33 on the way. You'll see, whatever, when we make that video. But I don't know if we're going to cross 33 again when we get there, though, this time. I haven't decided that yet. I'm kind of thinking maybe we will, and I'll just do like the same as last time. Except this time, hopefully not lose the footage on the way back like we did when we did it the last time. Anyway, but this time maybe, I'll cross again maybe. That's what I haven't decided. I haven't decided if I'm going to cross and go to the 7-Eleven again, or if I'm going to, instead of crossing, just drive over the grass to Log Cabin, maybe get some barbecue. Um, we'll see about it. Hey, Squeakers, what's up, little buddy? Uh, I'm kind of thinking I'm not going to I'm not going to film myself, whatever, video cord myself eating, because to do that, like I got to take my tooth out or whatever. And by the way, will somebody let me know what they think about those 2 little cooking videos I did? Like, they're not performing very well, but those were asked for several years ago, but I finally did them. It just wasn't possible, or without like a whole bunch of prep work, setting up cameras and stuff. Back when I was still at the old department, but anyway, where's I going with that? But yeah, so. I'm not going to film myself sitting around eating barbecue because I got to take my tooth out to do that. And I don't want to film myself with my tooth out. I am very, what do you call it? Insufficient or self-conscious. That's what I'm looking for. Self-conscious about that because, I'm ugly enough anyway. And then I take my tooth out, then I'm really ugly. So, I try not to do that. But On the other hand, maybe since I've got this Pocket 3 now, I'll just go to the 7-Eleven like we did last time at Massanutten, and go in there, get a Slurpee like we did last time, except this time hanging out outside while I'm drinking on my Slurpee and, bring the Pocket 3 and record a little bit,
Be additional footage or whatever.
The only thing I don't like about doing that is just that, like the same thing as the shed video, that when you start mixing the Action 4, Action 5 video with the video from the Pocket 3, the difference in the sensor size becomes really apparent, and it shows like how crappy the video from the Action 4 and the Action 5 really are. I don't know why. Like they came out with the Action 5 after the Pocket 3, and they fit a 1-inch sensor in this tiny ass fucking Pocket 3 camera, but then they didn't put a 1-inch sensor in the Action 5. Like, what's up with that? If I could quote the great prophet Hurricane Hemsley, what's up with that? If I went to the log cabin and got food to bring back, I do have that insulated backpack, so I think it would be okay. But that is a little bit of a ride, considering that we're going there on a 50cc scooter. It's a little bit of a journey. Well, if you couldn't tell, watching the one we did last year, going to Massanutten, it'd probably be a little bit quicker if I went down River Road onto 602 and then out onto 33. But fuck that. River Road ain't so bad, but 602 was a fucking nightmare, and 33 is worse. I've said this before. 33 is not a highway to the danger zone. The 33 is the fucking danger zone. And I hate it. I hate it. I do. I hate it with a passion. No Vaseline, as they say, no Vaseline. So I also still am planning at some point to redo the ride that we took to Shenandoah, because I had problems with both of those rides last season. The ride to Shenandoah was our first ride-along video. The problem was I was using the GoPro 5 on that video, and I don't know why. I thought I was going to use the internal microphone from the fucking GoPro 5, and it would all be fine. But if you go back and watch that video, obviously it was not all fine, which is why I made the music so loud over it, because you couldn't make out hardly anything I was saying anyway. And all that I missed so much gold in my reaction of crossing that bridge, which we're not going to redo. We are not going to cross that bridge and go down 602 again. I'm sorry, but fuck that. No Vaseline, as they say. Going across that bridge was like no Vaseline. And 602, well, it wasn't as bad going 602, but it was still bad. But so I had that problem with the audio for that video, and then on the one to Massanutten, we lost all the footage. I don't know what happened. It just got corrupted and couldn't use it on the way back from Massanutten. All the footage between Massanutten and back to the McDonald's. You go back and watch those videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. But so hopefully we could do better this time. Oh yeah, and also I am getting closer to getting all of that stuff from the shed to go to the other shed to sell a whole bunch of music gear. I've already contacted the guy that we're bringing to look at the stuff to buy. and everything. So, we've almost got everything lined up except for a date to actually do it. And so I am considering the possibility. I don't know, because I don't know how much money I'm going to get. I don't know, I still owe my dad like $500. So, I don't know anything yet really, but one of the ideas that I've been kind of shopping around in my head, or window shopping online, or whatever you want to call it, is the idea of getting that Insta360 X5. I would love to have another good like 360 camera, um, just so that, like, for two reasons. One, so that I could just, like, when we pass a pretty girl, or or just whatever, something interesting happens beside me while we're riding or whatever, I could reframe that to catch all that. And then the other thing would be, go back into trying to shoot stuff for like VR. The problem is, though, is that despite what the first lady reviewer said on that camera that I saw, she just flat out lied and said that it has a 1-inch sensor. It does not have a 1-inch sensor. As a matter of fact, its sensor is not much bigger than the one in the Action 4 or the Action 5. And if you're shooting VR content, that's a big problem, because resolution fucking matters a lot. Well, I mean, it matters a lot when you're talking about flat videos, but it matters so much more when you're shooting VR content, because, you think about it, physically, when you got on a VR headset, your eye is like that far from the actual screen. It doesn't really look like it because of perception and whatever, but, you try watching something that's like full HD, 1080p, versus something that's in 4K versus something that is in 8K, you can clearly see the difference, all three. It doesn't even take the trained eye to see that shit. Resolution really matters. And when you've got a small sensor like that, you can have full like 8K video and still be, dirty and grainy and, blacks washing out and all of that crap, just because the sensor is so small. It can't take in enough light to really get a clear picture. That's why having a 1-inch sensor is so important. And I did find a VR camera or a 360 camera, whatever you want to call it, for like around $1,000 that does have a 1-inch sensor. But for some god-awful reason, that thing has 51 gigabytes of internal storage and no memory card slot. You're recording 360 footage with 51 gigs. You ain't going to record but so much. Those files are going to get big. So that 51 gigs is going to go super, super fucking quick. And, there's no option to throw in an external memory card. So, that's a deal breaker right away. There's no way I'm going to buy that camera and be limited to 51 gigs. I will not be limited to 51 gigs, even in the Action 4 or Action 5. I will use nothing less than a 256 gig card. On my GH5, I use a 1 terabyte card. I do not want to risk running out of recording space. That being said, I still am now, at least, when I get home and take this footage off of the camera, I copy it over to a hard drive. Well, I copy it over to an SSD on the computer, edit the video, and then I will then take the raw footage and stuff and copy it to a hard drive for like archiving and stuff. But once I get it off of the camera, though, I delete it. And I still won't go anything less than 256 gigs. I went on a big long rant about that. I am sorry for rambling about that. And I'm not even stoned, because I don't get stoned before going to my the rapey sessions. Maybe I should. Not really, but I still got time. But like, I'm gonna pick this back up, I guess, when we get to the Berg. So I love you guys. I'll see you in a minute. In it. And this car is not coming anywhere close to me, but I feel like if I don't back up on the sidewalk, I am going to get run over. I clearly will not, but you know. So I don't know what to talk about now because I think I've pretty much gone over most of the stuff, but you know, I keep going with you guys just because you know I'm here. I'm well, not sort of queer, depending however you want to look at it. You know, get used to it, little dudes. Get used to it. I'm here. I'm whatever the fuck I am. Get used to it. Uh, I'm here. I am me, unfortunately. Uh, I am going to take you guys over here just because there's a place to sit over here. So, you know, that's where we steer, is over here. Uh, and it's going to be like all darkness in the background because I got this ND filters on. And, you know, yeah, so I guess that's a little bit better. You know, at least I can see the screen from right here. Um, yeah, so what do you guys want to talk about? Sorry, I forgot. Cameras don't work that way. You can't see me on the other side, or I can't see you on the other side, however that go by. Um, but, yeah. So what do you guys want to see for content? I am going to say, you know, not much. I'm trying to not, like, talk politics or shit or whatever, you know, because this shit is bugging the fuck out of me right now. You know, all these, you know, so if you don't want to hear me talk politics, just, you know, uh, fast forward through this fucking part of the video. But y'all motherfuckers have got to stop calling yourselves constitutionalists and shit and party of law and order and all of that bullshit because you're doing the same thing with these pocket constitutions that you do with your fucking Bible. You like to carry it around and talk about what it says and what it means, but you don't actually fucking read it. You know, you're all so quick to, you know, want to get rid of it and shit and talking about, you know, rights are only for citizens and all of that shit. You're wrong. The 5th and 14th Amendment grant certain rights to everybody. The rights to due process and the rights to, you know, equal protection of the law. So, you know, when you talk all that shit about, you know, that those rights are only for citizens and blah, 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 you know, you can miss me with all that shit because you're wrong. You're dead fucking wrong. And when you are okay with suspending the Constitution, you can't call yourself a constitutionalist and fuck you. But okay, that's all I'm going to say now, I think. Now I'll probably say more in a minute or two. I might because, you know, that's what I do. Sometimes I just don't know when to keep my mouth shut. But, you know, the right loves freedom and shit like that when it applies to them. But as soon as it's a person that they don't like, you know, it just all goes out the window. And when you're okay with suspending the Constitution to protect one group of people, next time you're going to not be okay when they suspend the Constitution to get rid of you. You know, you're going to all regret that shit in about 10 years. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to stop now. I hope all these people out here, like, realize that this is a camera and, you know, that I'm not talking to myself. Or maybe I am. Maybe I just think that this is a camera and I really am out here talking to myself, you know. I don't know. I don't know much in this world. And that's it. Good. Uh, I ain't mentioned that. I got literally got people now mad at me for being depressed, and I'm like, that's a fuck. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I get depressed sometimes, and yes, sometimes I post about it on Facebook, and sometimes I post about it on Facebook, and if you don't like it, then as they say, no Vaseline. Uh, I mean, for real, how you gonna get mad at somebody for being depressed? I ain't got nowhere else to vent that shit except for here and Facebook. So, deal with it, Steve. Um, at least I still come on here. Even when I am depressed, I try to come on here. And I throw on my little happy face or whatever for you guys because I care. But once in a while, I need to scream and maybe punch a wall or something, and so I do. I'm not hurting nobody though, dude, So just let me through, or whatever they say. Probably not that. For sure. For sure. For sure. I'm just some random white dude making gravy. That's all, baby. The thing I never could stand about Santa Carla is all the damn vampires. Uh, but one of the few things that I do actually good miss about the burg is, all of the pretty ladies. Because they are plenty around here. I wish there was more pretty dudes around here. There are like plenty. Well, I guess that's pretty much everywhere, though. Pretty ladies are aplenty, but the pretty dudes are pretty rare. Uh, I mean, it don't really matter because I'm too much of a coward to talk to either one, because they all out of my leagues. So it doesn't really matter. But anyway, Jiminy Hopper at Christmas or whatever. Jiminy Cricket robbed Christmas or whatever they say. I really ain't got nothing else to really mention, so I'm just out here talking shit now. So I guess I'll just cut this short now, and whatever. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one, baby. Thanks for tuning in, and bye.